My name is Sylvia. I'm passionate about languages, English in particular. Welcome to my world of English. Dear listeners, I know it's been a while. I know that you have been waiting. I'd like to thank you for the feedback that I receive. And I have to admit that I keep receiving more and more feedback from you. And this feedback is pushing me a little bit to record new episodes. So there we go. Yes, today we are recording the 28th episode of the World of English podcast. I'm very happy that I'm back. I'm very happy that I can share my knowledge with you again. And I have prepared a new subject for today's recording. Usually these subjects are divided into two parts, so to say. So there are these episodes that are devoted to some stories because you know me, and those of you who have listened to the very first episode of the World of English podcast, they know that I believe in telling stories, such telling stories that help in studying languages. But there are other types of podcasts. I call them more functional. And in these podcasts, I teach you different expressions, different phrases. I tell you how to study the language. And I hope that this information is of help for you. But today, this subject is a little bit twofold, I have to tell you, because on the one hand, there is going to be a story. And on the other hand, there is going to be this knowledge. There is going to be a list of vocabulary that you can use. So again, at the very beginning of the recording, I'd like to invite you to listen to it, and I do hope that you're going to have fun with me and that you're going to enjoy this episode. So the subject for today's meeting is the ability of speaking, and when I'm introducing this subject to you, I have to tell you, and I guess you could hear that, because I hesitated a little bit, because this ability to speak is not only something that is reserved for English, of course, for the English language, and this is the purpose of our meetings here, but this is just an ability that we all possess in different languages. So I hope that the information that I'm going to share with you today, this kind of information is going to be used not only for speaking in English, but also for speaking as such. But of course, we are going to focus on the English language. This ability to speak is very, very crucial today, especially today, because this is how we communicate with other people. If you know how to do it well, if you are a good speaker, you are usually very successful in social contact. You can land yourself a good job. You can feel relaxed on holiday. This skill will help you to have a better life, simply, I would even venture to say. And hey, have a look at me. This is how I'm reaching you. Yes, I'm reaching you also through speaking, through this ability to speak to you. But this speaking and this episode is going to be devoted not only to speaking as such, but it is going to be devoted to this very particular skill, that is how to give presentations. I know that giving presentations is this pain in the neck, which means that many people are equally afraid of giving presentations, just as they are afraid of attending job interviews. We have covered the subject of job interviews into episodes. And today I'm going to focus on giving presentations, because I know how hard it is. And you know me, I have repeated that on many occasions. It does not have to be like that. It is actually not that hard. And I am here to tell you, I am here to guide you through. I'm here to show you that actually studying the language, actually studying English, is not that difficult. It does not have to be that difficult. And again, giving presentations, it is a skill, just a skill, which means that if you know how to do that well, if you practice this, and don't forget, please, that practice makes perfect. So if you practice this, I'm sure you will be successful. As always, so practice makes perfect. I started with this opening line telling you that giving presentations is difficult in any language, that this ability to speak in a way that will attract attention. That kind of speaking is difficult in any language, but it is even more difficult for all the people who have to deliver a presentation not in their mother tongues. So they are very, very stressed, and this is connected with psychological elements, because they are very stressed, and they actually cannot stand this feeling of being judged by other people. And this really stops them from growing. This stops them from developing. This stops them from showing their true potential. And this added element in here, that this presentation has to be delivered in a language that is not your native language. It makes it, for some people, even impossible to deliver. And I know, I have heard about situations, I have seen such situations in which people who are absolutely fantastic, in which people who have this great knowledge, they will not continue with their speaking because they are so afraid. They will not deliver a speech because they are so afraid. And when they think about English, this becomes absolutely impossible for them. So I'm here once again just to guide you through and to tell you how to do it and how to have a better chance of being successful and showing other people how good you are. I have prepared a few bullet points in here. I mean, some set of information that will help you do that correctly in a successful way. And there we go. I'm going to share these couple of bullet points with you. What, in my opinion, and this is what my experience tells me, in my opinion, these elements are very crucial. So when it comes to presenting yourself, when it comes to delivering presentations in English, what counts, of course, is this wide range of vocabulary. Because if we are able to speak in a way that is interesting, and this way, of course, entails this ability of producing some nice sentences, then the audience, the people who are listening to us, they will easily follow us. Of course, if you are preparing for such a thing, for this event, I mean, you are preparing for a speech in English, and that means that you're going to give a presentation in English. I wouldn't advise you to study this great list of English expressions and English vocabulary just the night before, because that will not help you. You know me, I have repeated that. I have shared that kind of knowledge with you. If you want to study the language, you have to be systematic. You have to do it bit by bit, step by step, and studying this list of 50 very useful words will not help you. This is my opinion. So of course, you have to build this great range of vocabulary step by step, from lesson to lesson. But don't forget about that if you show your full potential, if you show this great ability to use the vocabulary that you have studied, I'm sure that your audience will follow. Another very crucial thing, and this is a huge mistake that many people make, is that when you make slides of the presentation, the information that you put there is only the kind of information that is necessary. You have to limit the number of words. Many people make this mistake, that they put on slides all the information that they know, or all the information that they have. It becomes, the slides become unreadable. The presentation becomes very heavy. Nobody knows what is going on. Nobody's going to read all the text that is there on the slide. Believe me, don't do it. You just need to put a couple of sentences. I wouldn't even say maybe sentences, just a couple of words, a couple of expressions that are crucial and that you are going to develop during your speaking. Smoothness of the presentation, that's another element here. Of course, smoothness comes with practice. And I introduced the expression just a while ago that practice makes perfect. But this smoothness, it is not only something that is connected with the very language, but it is also connected with your personality, with the way you address people, with the way you talk to them. So when people see this smooth speaker, when people see somebody that is relaxed, and that would be another point, like this relaxed atmosphere, they are more willing to follow. And sometimes you don't even have to be talking about these groundbreaking ideas. But if you have this lovely voice and if you have this smoothness in you, and if you can present your ideas in this relaxed atmosphere, the people will follow. This is how we are. This is what we do. And this contact with your audience, with the people that you're going to talk to, is very crucial. Like eye contact. Many people avoid this eye contact. They try not to look at all the people that are listening to them, of course, because they are stressed and because they don't want to be judged. But this is very badly received. So please keep this eye contact. Please look at the people you are talking to, even if you make a slight mistake. But if you show them that you are concentrated, that you have come there for them, and that you're talking specifically to them, I'm sure the people will find it very attractive. Another element that I have prepared for you here is this rushing element. So my advice here is, I would tell you, don't rush. Right? So you don't have to be this Formula One driver in here. You don't have to tell the people all you know, and just, you don't have to do it in 5 minutes. Just be calm, right? You are the teacher in a way to these people. You are presenting the ideas. Maybe somebody would like to stop you and ask you a question. Well, usually the Q&A section, I mean, asking the questions and providing answers, that happens at the end of a presentation. But maybe there is this person, you have to give them this chance. Don't rush, don't run. Just be very calm. Just tell them what you want. You can repeat some piece of information, because when you are there and when you're giving a presentation, you are there for a reason, because you want to share something, you want to share some knowledge, you want to teach them something. So rushing is not advisable. And this is exactly what happens in the class that I provide, that I deliver, right? We're not rushing. This is not what we want to do, but we want to reach the goal, and we want to understand the subject. This is the crucial element. There are also all sorts of gimmicks. This is how we can call them. And a gimmick is this ability to use some kind of knowledge or to use some kind of skill in order to win something for yourself. So there are a lot of gimmicks there which tell you how to be a good speaker. And one of them, and I would agree with that, because in speaking, in giving presentations, the crucial thing is attracting this attention. So if you want to attract attention of your audience, you would need to have this strong opening. So I wouldn't advise you to just go there and just give you your name and the name of your company, the address of your company, and the name of your job title. I wouldn't advise you to do that. I would advise you to have this nice opening, some anecdotes, something that attracts this attention, something that will catch the people's eyes. They will want to listen to you. And what is very useful in here, and you can do that at the very beginning, but you can also do that while you're speaking, while you're presenting, is telling stories. Stories provoke emotions. They provoke real feelings. They build real pictures. So that's why stories are so great for presentations and also for studying the language, because if you build your language around stories, you have some emotions around that. And it is so much easier to learn, to remember, to memorize. I don't know, guys, if you have heard, but most of these elements, most of these ideas and these pieces of advice that I have just presented to you, they can be put in this basket that is called the KISS rule. I don't know if you have ever heard about that, but this rule was originated in the American Army. It is an acronym, so it stands for Keep It Simple, Stupid. And it is believed that, as I said, it was originated in this American Army, and it was originated by some engineers who were producing plane designs for this army. And the idea was very simple. It was all about presenting such projects which are easy to follow for almost anybody, even if they are not very much educated, or even if they are not much into the subject, into the picture. Of course, it might seem a little bit offensive for some, because yes, that was designed for these engineers that were not that knowledgeable, and they needed to get a project that was very easy for them to follow. But on the other hand, this is exactly what we do. I mean, when we present something to some other people, when we are teachers, when we are speakers, when we are coaches, what we do is we have to make it in a way that is easy for other people to follow, remembering that they are not experts in the subject. Sometimes this is the case, or in many situations, on many occasions, that is the case. So please always have in mind your speakers. So always remember who you are addressing this speech to, and make it simple for them enough to follow. Simple does not mean simplistic. I guess I have used this comparison at least once in here. Simple, when something is simple, it is actually very good because people can read it, people can understand it. They have some emotions towards it because they feel part of the picture. And the mistake that is made by many, many presenters is that they put too much text on the slides, and this is what we have discussed before, but they also make it so complex and so complicated that there are a lot of people, a lot of listeners who have no idea what is going on, and they find it very hard to follow. So yes, guys, the KISS rule, keep it simple, stupid. And the last piece of advice, or the last element that I have put here, is called last but not least, and I guess it is one of the most important elements in here, and it says that it is actually how you say things and not what you say counts. Of course, it is rather broad, I would say, because of course it is important what we are talking about. So if you are talking rubbish, nobody's going to listen to you, and nobody's going to believe you. But on the other hand, these emotions, the confidence that you bring into the presentation, the element of being sure, completely sure, 100% sure that you are delivering a very good presentation, that you have this strong voice, and you have this open mind, and you have these eyes that are glued, these eyes that control the people who are listening to you. This is actually very important. So yes, remember, how we say things counts more. I hope you are following me. I hope you enjoy what we have just discussed. And I wouldn't be myself if I hadn't prepared this list of vocabulary that you can use when making a presentation. And I hope that this vocabulary that I'm going to read to you right now, that we're going to cover, is something that you are going to write down perhaps, or is something that you're going to use just the moment you finish listening to this recording, because perhaps you are preparing some kind of presentation right now. So the very text of your presentation, of course, it can vary, right? So this is not something I am aware of. So the main body of the presentation is something that you have to prepare yourself. But there are, of course, these words or expressions that are very universal that you can use when changing the subject, for instance. And there are these expressions that will make your presentation very ordered. And if you use them, your listeners, the audience, will follow you very smoothly. So, of course, you have to order the importance of your slides, and you have to tell your audience what comes first, what comes second. So, of course, here you will say firstly, right? And then you will say secondly, then next. If you want to add some information, you would say what is more, what's important. If you want to draw their attention to this important element. Additionally, if you want to add another element, you can also show the consequence or the result of your speech and the slide perhaps that you have discussed, and that could be as a result, as a consequence, or in result, in consequence. And when addressing a very specific element, a very specific issue, you can say another problem, solution, or possibility is. When you want your audience to be concentrated on a specific slide or on a specific table or specific picture, you can tell them as you can see, for instance, or just this description of various slides would be the slide shows some sales figures, for instance, or some examples, some kind of data. Here I will show you how, or here I will show you why, or here I will show you when. Or the slide presents, or the slide shows, or the slide depicts. Don't forget about this expression depicts, because it is very nice. Everybody knows shows, right? So the slide shows, but not everybody knows this expression depicts. Because if you depict something, you give the picture of it. So that's why we can say that the slide depicts, or the picture depicts something. I do hope that you have found, or you will find, this knowledge, this information very, very useful. So please use these expressions. Please enjoy the job of delivering and preparing another presentation. Study the language and stay successful. Goodbye. Bye-bye.